Eliza Fletcher was slain in September 2022 when she was out for her morning run in Memphis. Eliza was a beloved daughter, wife, mother of two, kindergarten teacher at St. Mary's Episcopal School, and a billionaire heiress. She was an heiress to Orgill Incorporated, a hardware supply company her grandfather, Joseph Orgill III, helped build. What began as a small family business in 1847 evolved into one of the nation's largest privately held firms, generating over $3 billion in revenue annually. On September 2, 2022, Eliza went out for a morning run, and when she didn't return home, her husband called the police. According to surveillance footage obtained, Eliza was chased by a man, and then she was forced into a dark-colored SUV near the University of Memphis at approximately 4:20 a.m., near Central Avenue and Zach Curlin Street. The SUV remained parked for 4 minutes before it was driven away. Through the surveillance video and forensic evidence, DNA recovered from a pair of sandals found near the site of the kidnapping helped investigators to identify the perpetrator. Cleotha Abston was arrested the following day after the police found the vehicle near his residence. He attempted to flee but was taken into custody. Eliza's body was found 3 days later, about 7 miles from where she was last seen on the surveillance video during the kidnapping, with a gunshot wound to her head. She had also sustained injuries to her right leg and had jaw fractures. Abston previously served 20 years in prison for kidnapping a Memphis attorney and was sentenced to 80 years in a separate 2021 assault case on May 17, 2024. Abston faced multiple charges in the case of Eliza, including first-degree slaying, aggravated kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. On October 28, 2024, Abston pleaded guilty. He lowered his head when speaking to the judge, but showed no reaction after pleading guilty. Abston was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. District Attorney Steve Mulroy advised Abston to accept the plea deal due to overwhelming evidence against him. A jury likely would have sentenced Abston to execution. Attorney Mulroy said, "I want us today to acknowledge and celebrate the life of Eliza Fletcher, who was tragically kidnapped and slain in a senseless act of random predatory violence." Today's agreement achieves finality for the family. The defendant gives up his right to appeal, so there won't be years and decades of appeals. It also helps the community because this dangerous person will never again walk our streets. He will lose his life in prison. According to attorney Mulroy, Eliza's demise, though a tragedy, brought the community together. He said, "This case triggered an unprecedented outpouring of community concern and support, rippling nationwide and even globally. It was my first week on the job. I remember meeting with the family that first weekend when we were all still praying for her safe return. The family has shown great resilience and grace." He also thanked law enforcement members, the trial team, and others who worked on the case before adding a heartfelt message for Eliza's family. And the family itself, who have shown extraordinary courage and compassion throughout this ordeal. During Abston's sentencing, attorney Mulroy read a statement the victim's family prepared. Eliza's loved ones wrote, "We have no idea what happened to you to turn you into someone so filled with a desire to hurt people. Whatever it was, it does not excuse or explain what you have done. You have changed our lives forever, and nothing will ever be the same. Your actions were evil. There is no other word for it. You ended the life of Liza, even though she did nothing to deserve it. She did not hurt you. In fact, she would have been the first to help if you needed it." In another statement, Eliza's family wrote, "No legal resolution and no sentence can diminish the anguish of Liza's slaying. We accept the outcome that her perpetrator has pled guilty to all charges, will wake up in prison for the rest of his life, and cannot harm anyone else. We are very grateful for the determination and professionalism of law enforcement and the district attorney's office." Runners in Memphis and several other cities held early morning running events in her honor a week after she was kidnapped, a tradition that has continued in the city on the anniversary of her kidnapping. Aranda Briones went missing in January 2019 in California, her life taken by someone she thought of as a friend. 16-year-old Aranda attended Moreno Valley High School. She was a troubled youth whose parents were absent, and she had been adopted by her grandfather, Carl Horst Scott, and resided with him from age 3. On the morning of November 7, 2017, she decided to skip classes and hang out with friends at a local park. The group fled the area after they were spotted by a sheriff's school resource officer. One of her friends, Owen Schuyler Shover, was carrying a handgun. He then gave the weapon to Aranda and told her to hide it. She panicked and tossed the handgun into a drainage canal. The school resource officer witnessed her tossing the weapon and detained her. During questioning, she admitted to the school administrators and authorities that the handgun belonged to Owen. Both students were expelled in February 2018 over the incident. On January 13, 2019, Aranda got into Owen's car with him, and that was the last time she was seen by two of her friends. Owen texted Aranda the day before, inviting her to join him while he made illegal substance deliveries and robbed substance dealers. Within an hour of getting into the car, Aranda posted several pictures of herself and Owen together on social media. She was elated to be with her homie, who let her do some of the driving. She was later reported missing by her family. During the ensuing investigation, the police found Aranda's blood in the trunk of Owen's vehicle, as well as evidence of his attempts to purchase a weapon. They also found a Facebook message Owen sent to his brother Gary saying, "Be ready for tonight. Get shovels and lighter fluid ready." After the slaying, authorities alleges that Owen picked up his brother and drove into the San Bernardino Mountains. In August 2024, Owen was found guilty of taking the life of Aranda. Law enforcement personnel and volunteer groups have searched the mountains where they believe Aranda's remains may have been disposed, but no trace of her has ever been found. Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron said the following: "On the day of his conviction, he spoke to his grandfather from jail, wondering whether he should get a trophy for being a convicted perpetrator. He has shown no remorse." On October 25th, 23-year-old Owen, the man who blamed his former classmate for getting him expelled from school and then took her life, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Both teens carried on with their respective educations at other schools, but Owen remained incensed about his expulsion and what he perceived as Aranda's betrayal. Gary pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact in March 2024 and was sentenced to 12 months probation. At the sentencing of Owen, Aranda's friend described the teen as a kind spirit and was always joyful, even in the bad moments. Riverside County Superior Court Judge Timothy J. Hollenhorst told Owen the following during the sentencing: "There are many questions left unanswered, none more than where is Aranda? Mr. Shover, from what I can tell about you, it appears that you are not capable of feeling remorse. So I do not intend to lecture you on how devastating your actions were in this case. However, there is no question in this court's mind that you are the face of pure evil.